Vanessa stood in front of the small mirror in her room, smiling at her reflection. She was 27 years old, with smooth brown skin, long braids, and the kind of face people always stop to look at. Years ago, she had won a small beauty contest in her town, and since then, she believed her beauty was her ticket to a better life. Her cousin Joy sat at the sewing machine nearby, fixing a client's dress. Joy was younger, but already had a business making clothes. "Vanessa," Joy said gently, "why don't you come learn how to sew with me? Beauty does not last forever. You need something real to depend on." Vanessa laughed and touched her cheek. "Joy, this face is my job. Men will pay for my lifestyle. You think I will waste my time sewing when I can marry a rich man and never suffer again?" Joy shook her head. "Be careful. Money that comes easy also goes easy. One day you might regret this." But Vanessa did not listen. Most nights, she went out with her best friend Clara. They dressed in borrowed clothes, wearing makeup that sometimes came from Joy's small box without her permission. Their target was simple: meet rich men. And Vanessa always drew attention. She loved how men stared at her like she was a prize. One Friday night, Clara told her about a private party in Victoria Island. "This is not like the regular clubs, babe. This is where old money people meet. Real money. Dress your best." Vanessa opened Joy's box and took her newest emerald green dress. She did not ask. She only smiled at herself in the mirror and whispered, "This is my night." When they entered the party hall, Vanessa almost stopped breathing. The chandeliers sparkled. Expensive perfume filled the air. Men in shiny suits laughed as waiters poured champagne. And then she saw him, Mr. Maxwell. His hair was silver, his steps slow, but his presence was strong. He wore a gold watch and leaned on a cane. When he spoke, people listened. Vanessa's eyes locked on him instantly. She did not see wrinkles or age. She saw wealth, power, and everything she had been dreaming of. Maxwell noticed her too. He walked closer, his cane tapping the marble floor. "Good evening, young lady," he said with a smile. "You remind me of someone I once loved." Vanessa's heart raced. She leaned forward. "And you remind me of a man who knows what he wants." He laughed softly. That night, they spoke as if no one else existed. By the end of the party, Maxwell insisted on driving them home in his black Rolls Royce. Clara whispered, "Be careful, Vanessa." But Vanessa's mind was already filled with plans. Lying on her bed later that night, Vanessa smiled at the ceiling. Joy's warning came back to her. Beauty fades. But Vanessa only whispered, "Not before it gives me everything I want." What she did not know was that Maxwell was not as weak as he looked. Behind his smile was a man with secrets, and by chasing him, Vanessa was stepping into a game that could destroy her. Her life was about to change forever. Days passed after the party, but Vanessa could not stop thinking about Mr. Maxwell. His silver hair, his deep voice, and the way people respected him replayed in her mind. She told herself she was finally close to the life she always wanted. To her surprise, Maxwell called her 2 days later. "Vanessa," he said in a slow but firm voice, "I enjoyed our talk. I want to see you again. Can you join me for dinner this weekend?" Vanessa almost screamed with excitement, but she quickly lowered her voice. "Of course, Mr. Maxwell. I will be there." After the call, she ran to Clara's house. "Babe, it's happening. Maxwell invited me for dinner at his mansion." Clara frowned. "Vanessa, this man is old. You know nothing about him. Be careful. Sometimes money hides danger." Vanessa rolled her eyes. "Danger? Clara, you worry too much. This is my chance. I can't let it pass me by." When Joy heard about the invitation, she was even more worried. "Vanessa, listen to me. Don't go. Rich men do not give attention to young girls without a reason. I'm begging you, think about it." But Vanessa refused. She believed her beauty had finally opened the right door. The weekend arrived, and a black luxury car came to pick her up. Vanessa stepped out of Joy's house in a new gown Clara had helped her borrow, leaving Joy standing at the gate with a worried face. The drive was long. They passed tall gates, and finally the car stopped in front of a huge mansion. It was the kind of house Vanessa had only seen in magazines. Marble floors, giant chandeliers, and guards everywhere. Maxwell welcomed her with a smile. "You look beautiful tonight." "Thank you, sir," Vanessa replied, lowering her eyes. Dinner was served in a long hall with golden plates and expensive wine. Vanessa felt like a queen. Maxwell asked her about her life, her dreams, and her family. She gave careful answers, always smiling, always polite. When the plates were cleared, Maxwell stood up slowly and said, "I have a gift for you." Her heart jumped. A gift? Already? She followed him into a smaller room. The air was cold, and strange symbols were carved into the walls, but Vanessa was too excited to notice. Maxwell handed her a small black box. "Open it," he said. With shaking hands, she opened the box. Inside was not jewelry, not money, but an old silver ring. It looked worn out, with a woman's name carved inside. Evelyn. "Who is Evelyn?" Vanessa asked, confused. Maxwell's eyes grew darker for a moment. Then he smiled. "My late wife. She wore this ring until the day she died. I want you to keep it." Vanessa forced a smile, but inside her mind, she felt uneasy. Why would he give her something that belonged to his dead wife? Why not a necklace or a new ring, something shiny and expensive? That night, when she returned home, Joy and Clara were waiting. Joy asked, "So how was it?" Vanessa raised her hand proudly. "He gave me this ring. Can you see? I told you I'm already winning." Clara looked at the ring carefully and frowned. "Vanessa, this doesn't look right. Why would a rich man give you a ring from his dead wife? Are you sure about this?" Vanessa laughed loudly. "Clara, you are jealous. This ring means I'm special to him. You will see. Very soon, I will be living in that mansion." She went in her room, but when she placed the ring on her finger, it felt unusually heavy. That night, she dreamed of a woman crying, calling her name, and whispering, "Leave before it's too late." Was it just a dream? Or was it a warning? What do you think will happen next? Should Vanessa listen to her cousin and friend, or follow her greed? Let's continue. The next weeks felt like a dream to Vanessa. Maxwell sent drivers to pick her up, bought her new clothes, and gave her money she had never touched before. He even surprised her with a car, a shiny black SUV parked right outside her cousin Joy's small house. Joy stared at the keys in Vanessa's hand with shock. "Where did you get this?" Vanessa laughed proudly. "From Maxwell. I told you, Joy, my beauty has opened the door. Look at me now. You are still struggling with your sewing machine, while I am riding in a car worth millions." Joy sighed. "Vanessa, don't let gifts blind you. There is something strange about this man. I feel it." But Vanessa refused to listen. She had already started taking pictures with her new clothes and posting them on social media. Vanessa the Queen, her captions read. She wanted everyone to know she had finally made it. Clara, her best friend, also noticed something odd. One evening she sat with Vanessa at a restaurant, both of them enjoying expensive meals Maxwell had paid for. Clara leaned closer. "Babe, are you not worried? Maxwell is too generous. Men like that don't just give without expecting something big in return." Vanessa waved her off. "Clara, you sound like Joy. You people should stop. Maxwell is different. He told me he wants me to be the woman beside him. Very soon, I will live in his mansion." But Maxwell's mansion held secrets Vanessa ignored. Each time she visited, she noticed locked doors at the end of the hallway, guarded by men who never smiled. Sometimes, in the night, she heard strange chants coming from underground rooms, but she convinced herself it was only her imagination. One afternoon, Clara decided to investigate. She met an old man who worked as a gardener outside Maxwell's compound. The man whispered, "Be careful with that man. Years ago, young girls used to visit him, but none of them stayed. They disappeared. Some say he is part of a secret group that uses women to renew his wealth." Clara's heart dropped. She ran to Vanessa's house and told her everything. "Vanessa, please listen to me. People say Maxwell is an occult man. He uses young women in rituals. That is why he is still rich. You need to leave him now before it's too late." But Vanessa laughed. "Clara, you are jealous. First Joy, now you. Can't you people be happy for me? Do you think I will leave my blessings because of gossip? Maxwell is my future." That night, Maxwell gave her a diamond necklace, one that sparkled so much she almost cried. "You deserve the best," he told her. Vanessa hugged him tightly, blind to the shadows around her. In her mind, she had arrived. She was living the life she always wanted. But when she placed the necklace on her table and went to sleep, something strange happened. She woke up in the middle of the night, sweating with a sharp pain in her stomach. She turned on the light and saw the necklace glowing faintly in the dark. Fear shot through her, but she quickly covered it back in the box. "Maybe I'm overthinking," she whispered to herself. The next morning, Joy tried once again. "Vanessa, I had a bad dream about you. I saw you crying in a dark place. Please, leave Maxwell before it is too late." Vanessa hissed and stormed out, heading straight to Maxwell's mansion. She didn't know the dream was more than just a warning. How long can Vanessa ignore the signs? Is Maxwell truly giving her love, or preparing her for something darker? What would you do if you were in her place? By the end of the month, Vanessa was already spending more time in Maxwell's mansion than in her cousin's house. Joy barely saw her anymore, and Clara stopped calling after their last fight. Vanessa did not care. In her mind, she had left poverty behind forever. Maxwell treated her like royalty. Every weekend, he hosted dinners where Vanessa sat beside him, wearing clothes worth more than Joy's entire shop. Guests smiled at her, but she sometimes caught them whispering behind her back. She ignored it. She only cared about the way Maxwell looked at her. One evening, after a grand dinner, Maxwell took Vanessa's hand and led her into a private chamber. The room was darker than the others, with candles lit around the walls and strange paintings she had never noticed before. "My dear Vanessa," Maxwell said, looking into her eyes, "you have brought joy back into my old life. I want to make you mine forever." Vanessa's heart leapt. "Are you saying?" "Yes," he said with a smile. He pulled out a small box, and inside was a golden ring. "Marry me." Tears filled Vanessa's eyes. She imagined herself as the wife of a billionaire, traveling the world, never touching poverty again. She threw her arms around him and said, "Yes, Maxwell, I will marry you." The next morning, she called Clara, hoping to show off. But Clara's voice was sharp. "Vanessa, are you out of your mind? Do you even know this man? Do you know what people say about him?" Vanessa rolled her eyes. "Clara, stop with your jealousy. He proposed to me. Soon, I will be his wife, and you will see I was right all along." But Clara had done her own digging. She had spoken to old workers who once lived in Maxwell's house. The stories terrified her. "Vanessa, listen. This is not a normal man. He is part of a secret cult. They say he uses young women to renew his wealth. That is why he is still strong and powerful at his age. And now you are next." Vanessa burst into laughter. "Do you hear yourself? Rituals? Cults? Clara, you are watching too many movies. Please, leave me alone." She hung up. Joy also tried one last time. She waited at the gate of Maxwell's mansion when Vanessa returned that evening. "Sister, please," she begged, holding her hand. "I had another dream. You were in a red dress, crying, and people were chanting around you. Please don't marry him." Vanessa pulled her hand away. "Joy, enough. You don't want to see me happy. You are angry because your sewing cannot buy what Maxwell gives me. Leave me alone." She stormed inside, slamming the gate. Days turned into weeks as the wedding plans began. Maxwell hired the best planners in Lagos, bought a gown from abroad, and booked a 5-star hotel for the reception. Vanessa flaunted every detail online. Soon to be Mrs. Maxwell, her captions read. But Clara noticed something chilling. While checking the calendar, she realized the wedding date matched something she had seen in an old newspaper about Maxwell. It was the same date he had lost his first wife years ago. The same date locals whispered was his renewal night. She rushed to Joy with the news. "This is not a wedding. It's a ritual night. If we don't stop it, we may lose Vanessa forever." Joy broke into tears. "But she won't listen to us. How can we save someone who refuses to be saved?" And inside Maxwell's mansion, Vanessa tried on her golden gown, smiling at her reflection. She did not know she wasn't walking toward a wedding, but into a trap far darker than her dreams. Will Vanessa realize the truth before it is too late? Can Joy and Clara stop the ritual? The wedding day finally came. Vanessa woke up glowing with pride, dressed in her golden gown. Cameras followed her every move as she entered Maxwell's mansion. To everyone watching, it looked like a celebration. To Vanessa, it was the day she had finally arrived. But behind the music and decorations, the house felt strange. The staff moved in silence, avoiding her eyes. Candles burned in corners where flowers should have been. Vanessa ignored it. She told herself it was just part of Maxwell's old-fashioned style. As evening came, the guests left earlier than expected. Maxwell took Vanessa's hand. "My dear, now it is time for us to join as one," he said. She smiled, expecting to walk into a ballroom filled with dancing and champagne. Instead, he led her through a dark hallway she had never entered before. The air grew cold, and her steps echoed on stone floors. When Maxwell opened the heavy door at the end, Vanessa gasped. The room was lit with red candles. Strange symbols covered the walls. Men in dark robes stood around a circle drawn on the ground. In the center lay a table covered with a red cloth. "Maxwell, what is this?" Vanessa whispered, fear rushing through her veins. Maxwell's smile faded. His voice was no longer gentle. "It is the reason I am who I am. Every blessing comes with a price, Vanessa. Tonight, you will give me what I need." Before she could run, 2 guards grabbed her arms. She screamed, but the music outside had stopped. No one could hear her. "Please, Maxwell, you love me. You gave me gifts. You proposed to me." Maxwell looked at her coldly. "Yes, because your greed made you blind. You thought you were winning, but you were only walking into my hands." They laid her on the table. Vanessa cried as the robed men began chanting. She struggled, but the guards held her down. Maxwell raised a silver dagger, and the ring of his late wife glowed strangely on his finger. At that moment, Joy and Clara burst into the room with 2 policemen. "Stop!" Joy screamed, but it was too late. Maxwell had already pressed the dagger against Vanessa's stomach, chanting words she did not understand. Pain tore through her body as the ritual was sealed. The policemen fired shots, but the bullets hit no one. In the confusion, the candles blew out. When the lights returned, Maxwell and the robed men were gone, vanished like smoke. Vanessa lay on the table, shaking and crying. Joy and Clara rushed to her side. She was alive but weak. Days later, in the hospital, the doctor's words crushed her more than the ritual had. "Your womb has been damaged beyond repair. I am sorry, but you will never be able to give birth again." Vanessa froze. The gifts, the car, the jewelry, none of it mattered now. All she could think of were the children she would never hold, the family she would never build. Joy sat beside her, tears in her eyes. "I warned you, sister, but you refused to listen. Greed has taken the one thing you can never buy back." Clara added softly, "You chased wealth and lost what was priceless." Vanessa wept bitterly. For the first time in her life, she understood the cost of ignoring wise counsel. She had wanted to be a queen, but Maxwell had left her with a crown of sorrow. And now, she asked herself the same question everyone else wondered. Was it worth it? If you were in Vanessa's shoes, would you have chosen wealth or listened to those who loved you? What do you think she should have done differently? If you enjoyed this story, please like the video, share it with someone who needs the lesson, and subscribe to the channel for more emotional stories every week. Your comments matter. Tell us below, what lesson did you learn from Vanessa's story?